I'm getting ready for the Willamette River tour in Portland. Then there's a boat ramp near the park.
Fresh water, and they did it right here at this house. And it's called the Palatine Pump Station House. It wasn't a house back then; it was a coal-powered pump pulling in water. So the lower section, which is closest to the water, if you look below, you'll see a case of cholera going around the city of Portland. So they stopped pouring the water out of the river, and they sold the property in the 1970s. And someone built that house. It's about 18,000 square feet. Has a 5-story elevator. And the lower section is an indoor pool. So big money. Now, look between that house and the gray house, you're going to see some red umbrellas. That's where the trolley track is. It goes right between the front doors of these houses. And then it goes behind that black exoskeleton house, which is another important house here. Is anyone familiar with the restaurant called the Old Spaghetti Factory? I know you guys have one in San Diego. Well, that's the founders. Old Spaghetti Factory is from Portland, Oregon. Riverside, which is on the north side, you're talking a road of 3 million and up to about 8 million. Everything on the sunny side, which is my left side, half price. They're right through the crater. Because when the water gets high enough, it's over there. For the settlers. This island has a bay, and there used to run stern wheelers in here. There used to be a dance pavilion, and later a speakeasy on this island. And this is how I'm told people would come out here from Oregon City and Portland, they would eat here. This is before the internet.
This is Elk Rock, where the old ancient trees used to be hexagonal columns. They call them basalt columns.
We get a lot of floods. I showed you the marker from 1996. That was our last major flood. I was lucky enough to live on the river during the flood. And it is for sale, though. If you want to buy it, he's selling it for easily $8 million. He wants out. We bought it out of foreclosure in about 2010, and we put a lot of dough into it. And we're on the street and see. Yeah, it's really cool. Oh, so the fire actually cleaned it up. It was full of creosote, and it just I thought it was gone, but a lot of oak trees, part of the industrial area for logging. Beautiful houses, more sunshine. Lake Oswego is probably the highest end bedroom community associated with Portland. That's coming up, but it started out really humbly as a lumber mill, which was over here. This first section of infrastructure was a lumber mill. And then beyond that, we're going to see the old iron mine, which was what put Lake Oswego on the map. Things like San Francisco, they got their start around 1840, 1849, a miner, 49ers, gold rush. They built most of that early San Francisco from here. We had iron and we had wood. If you stayed here, you could get free land, which sounds like a pretty nice proposition, but if you went down to California, you could get rich quick in your lifetime, right? So people headed south and made gold their priority. Now most people did not get rich. If they would have stayed here and just did a simple life, homesteaded, they could have done it over time, but I get it. A bad year, you know, it can get extremely high volume of water through here. This river runs at about 33,000 cubic feet per second. And during a flood, that can be over 500,000 per second. So 10x and beyond water flow. As we make our way right is Hog Island. There's usually wildlife on it, like deer. Trail.
This is the end of the Oregon Trail.
So they're doing a lot of work here, but this was the original port town, Oregon City. And back in the 1800s, if you wanted to come out west and you wanted to start something for yourself or start anew, you could come out here and homestead and get free land, which was pretty exciting, especially if you didn't have much.
They said they tore down the old bridge as they built the new one on top of it.
Native Americans,
The
they would go up there,
graffiti
sign in
area
the courthouse, and maybe 2 or 3 months later, their relatives in New York or East Coast would
is
find
where
out they're
the
still alive. And they had
stern
no
wheelers
idea.
would disembark and get to
This
the
first
courthouse.
bridge here is the first
to
crossing
announce they
across the
arrived.
Willamette. It was a foot bridge. This thing will raise your boat up about 40 feet through a series of locks, and that is built in 1876. This was the main highway through the state. In 1876, we had a boat lift, which was the first one west of the Mississippi. It's not working right now, but it is capable of working, and it's very important for the growth of the state. You could not get a boat to the upper Willamette without this. Anything bigger than this would have to be stuck on the lower or the upper, but you can go another 120 miles up the river on using this boat lift and get all the way to cities like Eugene, and they're tearing it down, and they're going to build a cultural center called Tumwater Village, which means Waterfall Village in Native American speak.
Old
And
paper
this whole
mills.
left side will be that. Another Native American group is attempting to buy the right side. Don't know what they're going to do with it, but something cool. We're heading up to the waterfall. You're going to notice it's very dry. So you're going to see what a waterfall looks like with minimal water. And it is interesting because you get to see the rocks behind the water. They're manipulating the water right now and making it come out in weird places like underneath the building over here. So we're kind of up the middle of the river right now. The river's flowing on both sides of us and it's been blocked off. And it's kind of creating a unique effect here. But this is how we industrialized this river early on. The falls are natural, but there was a lot of potential energy. I'm going to open up the front. You're going to be able to go out. You can have up to 4 or 5 people out.
Woo, we're here.
Alright folks, we're going to hang out here for a little bit, get your photos. They're pretty good visibility on this side and the front. This is the Willamette Falls. It is really light right now. I'm not going to apologize for it as part of the seasonal change, but this is lighter than even what I've seen in my years of doing this. They've done some manipulation up there. They've done some construction, so water is kind of going through the locks and everywhere else right now. This was created by a shift in the Earth's crust. It's naturally occurring. It is the second largest microclimate. This is what I would normally see at a very, very end. They're very different up there. And it's a lot shallower too. On average, we're about 45 feet down here. Up there, it's about 8.
Be sure to grab your life jackets, please.
It's an offspring. They eat the salmon, so we get the predatory birds along here.
This was the main way to get lumber from one location like the Coast Range to the city. That is the grinding room. There's a fish ladder going around the grinding room. I want to point it out to you. If you look at that, it's like a square tube that says danger on the corner. That square tube is actually a fish ladder. So the fish will go in towards the white water over here, climb up the ladder, swim through this tube, and swim up the side of the building.
The place where James Fred owner lives. He created it.
That's an iron smelter from 1840. park is George Rogers Park, and there's a lot of history about the iron industry.
Called the Palatine Pump Station House, 1800s.
So, Waverly, you have to start running with the Masters tournament in Augusta, Georgia. When you win the Masters tournament, you have to start here at Waverly. August goes, November,
Raleigh to Oswego. This house was in Armenia.